This forecast is underwritten by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. Smarter, better healthcare. More at bcbsms.com.
Quiet weather sticking around straight through the weekend, and we do have an eventual warming trend moving our way. But for tonight, many areas dealing with some frosty weather. We're going to see that up and down the state of Mississippi. For the Olive Branch area, we've got frosty weather in place. Fog forming, too, for tonight's low. We're into the mid-30s. Increasing sun Saturday with our high upper 50s. Fog and frosty weather for the Vicksburg area. Our low 30s. Increasing sun Saturday, that high right around 65. Frosty weather possible for the Hattiesburg area. Our low mid-30s tonight. Sunny Saturday, the high 65. We're in the mid-70s Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore. This is Think Radio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Week 14 of Friday Night Under the Lights. We've got George and Russ here. If you were watching before we started, we can be entertaining too, because when we tell some great stories and jokes, so it looked pretty good there. No, you couldn't hear a thing, but you knew they were really good jokes. Well,
and every one of them was true.
That's true.
That's the sad part.
Didn't have to stretch it. It was stretched already.
And it is playoff seasons. This is week 2 for MHSAA, the finals weekend for MAIS.
Yeah, and had a lot of games over JA yesterday, and they'll have a big one over there tomorrow at Mississippi College. Prep will be going up against Hartfield, and Joseph Craven's going to call in and kind of preview that game, and then John Marcus Duncan's going to call in and kind of preview that game, and
the game to end all games.
It'll end the season, that's for sure. You know, Prep's undefeated, and so it should be a real good game.
Yeah,
I mean,
real good game. It starts at 6 o'clock. Right?
6 o'clock, and a lot of folks going to show up. The weather's going to be good.
Yeah, it'd be
it's
good.
going to be a little on the nippy side.
Well, it's supposed to, I thought, start to warm up tomorrow.
Yeah, I heard the high was like 65 or 70, something like that.
Actually, it'd be ideal football weather.
Maybe I hope so, because it's going to be an ideal game.
Russ, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, Prep is undefeated going into this game tomorrow.
Correct.
Do you know how many times they've had undefeated football seasons? Going into the, because if they were undefeated, they're going to be most generally in the finals.
Right. I'm going to say in the 22 years or so that I've been there, seven times. And of course, hey, don't count Hartfield out of this.
No, we're not.
I mean, they were undefeated last year and won the state championship, beating Prep 21-0. So what a lot of people don't realize was on that game last year, it was only 7-0 Hartfield midway through the fourth quarter. And they got a couple touchdowns and ended at 21-0. So this is a great time of the year. You got teams ending their season. 8-man championship today. Granny's going to call. He's got his own slot tonight because he's been over there at JA all day. And just, loving those games. And so he's going to call in and talk to us. Devin Cooper, who is the head coach for Northwest Rankin, I got him on the show tonight because he's played those teams that are in 7A, especially in this area. And we're going to get his take because, Brandon keeps on rolling tonight. George, get to that score in just a second. But so it's one season is winding down to the final one. Next week, of course, is semifinal weekend, and that's always a fun week. It's always one of the most fun shows of the game. Somebody's season is over, and it's just kind of abrupt. But then we've got the state championship playoffs, which is the first weekend in December, and Jared Schatz and his crew will be on Mississippi Public Broadcasting doing those games. The thing I like about those is that the games like on Friday, a lot of people are working or going around town doing whatever, and you can hear the games on the radio, and it's just really, really special. So we'll have those. And then after that week, Chris and I will be loading up the vehicle and headed to Mobile to do the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star Game. Greg Flynn will join us on that broadcast. And it'll be the best of Mississippi against the best of Alabama. And it'll be over at Jaguar Stadium there at the University of South Alabama. Great facility, by the way.
Absolutely. Love it.
Chris loves doing games over there. This is so nice. And then the next weekend, we'll be down in Gulfport doing the Mississippi All-Star Game, North versus South, the Bernard Blackwell All-Star Game.
At Milner Stadium,
At
right?
Milner Stadium. They have the tallest cement steps I've ever had to. It's like they're two steps in one. And so just, go to the game just to see Chris and I get up and down the stands would be worth it for that. But it's going to be a good ball game. To me, it's one of the most fun games of the year because you got the creme de la creme of the state, and we just have fun with it, and the guys have fun with it. And last year's game was really entertaining, and South came back and won at the end. So it was a lot of fun. So we got all of that coming up, and those games, by the way, will be on Mississippi Public Broadcasting and also on Funnel.com, Friday night underthelights.com, and which means we'll be on Roku and YouTube and what are the other ones? Fire Stick. And I mean, if you can't get the game, you're under a rock somewhere, okay? But anyway, all of that football. So football may be ending tonight for MAIS, but there's still a lot of football left to play. And Will Watson, Will the Thrill, getting all the scores to us on the score sheet tonight. And there's some, of course, there was. Did you get the scores from over, J.A.?
I've gotten some of it.
Brian did a good job of doing that. I'll give you that during the break. But why don't you go over the scores that we have right now, and then if you want to call in, maybe you've never called in the show, we'd love to hear from you. 877 MPB ring RING, or for those challenged like I am, that's 877-672-7464. So we want to hear from you and find out what happened to your team tonight or whatever. Eric Smith's going to be calling in tonight. So that's always fun. So a lot going on. So we need to get the scores.
All right, Russ, let's start with 7A. And a couple of these games just have gone final recently. Starting off with Madison Central rematch against Germantown. This game was 14-14 early on, but Madison Central pulled away and won that game 45-14 over Germantown. They will play in the North Championship Tupelo, who edged Starkville. This was a good game. Tupelo ends up winning 35-34 is the score that I have. So that was a good one. Brandon beat Petal tonight 39-10. And a little bit of a surprise, they will face Ocean Springs, who defeated Oak Grove 27-14 tonight.
Not a real surprise there, but here is Ocean Springs just kind of under the radar.
Well, they got off to a really poor start. They had a great season last year.
Yeah, but their schedule was brutal.
It was, and they got off to somewhat of a poor start, but have rallied toward the end. In 6A tonight, a team that is certainly worth watching, Grenada, defeated Neshoba Central 31-7, and they will play for the North Championship Warren Central, who defeated South Panola tonight 21-3.
I wonder where that game was.
It was at Warren Central, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Hattiesburg won over Pascagoula 33-17, remain undefeated. That's their 12th win. I do not have a final of Picayune and George County.
Well, Tommy Upton's going to, I think, Tommy's going to be calling us, so we'll get that final.
Okay. Let's see. 5A, West Point beat Holmes County Central 31-28. It was Brookhaven over Stone 33-7. And Gaucher edged Wayne County 28-27. I do not have, and we're still trying to figure out, the Cleveland Central and Canton final score. 4A, West Lauderdale beat Shannon 26-23. Louisville beat New Albany 39-7. It was Forest over Quitman 17-12, and Poplarville beat Macomb 42-21. In 3A action tonight, it was Choctaw County shutting out Rosa Fort 37-0. East Webster shut out Aberdeen 35-0. Noxubee County beat Seminary 45-15, and McGee doubled up Jefferson County 12-6. 2A, it was Northside over Union 20-3, Charleston 30, Calhoun City 12. Heidelberg beat Bay Springs 30-8, and Raleigh defeated Lord Starr 36-8. And 1A games, Baldwin over Vardaman 29-7. Simmons beat Lumberton 22-18. Velma Jackson 60, Taylorsville 18.
Ooh.
And do not have a final as of yet on Myrtle and West Lowndes. Moving over to MAIS action, of course, the 6A game will be played tomorrow night, Saturday night at Mississippi College. Prep in Hartfield, as Russ mentioned a few moments ago. 5A, this is your kind of game here. Park Lane outscored Leak 70-42.
Oh, I love those games.
Yeah, I know you do. In 5A, 4A, Tri-County just had a dominating year. They finished 12-0, beat Bowling Green 27-3 in the championship game. So that's really, I didn't hear as much about Tri-County this year, but this is probably one of the most dominating years they've had. I don't think I think the game they won last week, 21-7, is closest margin they had all year long.
But I mean, it's like a machine over there.
Yeah, they won a lot of games, and they certainly had a good season. Kirk won a championship, and they were 13-0. They defeated Marshall County in 3A, or Marshall Academy in 3A, MAIS. 35-10 was the final there. Tri-County was a 4A. The 2A championship game, I do not have the score between Tunica and DeSoto School. I'll have that shortly here. In the 1A championship game, which of course would be your 8-man game,
right?
It was Briarfield Academy of Louisiana defeating Wilkinson County Christian 32-18.
Oh man, I was pulling for. All right, Picayune, Tommy Upton went ahead and sent us the score. They win 63-40.
That's a basketball game.
Who were they playing? Was it?
They were playing George County.
They beat the Deuce?
Apparently they did.
Wow. And Dr. Dave I think he just sent me West Lowndes. I mean, you can't get anything past Dr. Dave.
No, you can't get past.
No. West Lowndes beat Myrtle.
Myrtle.
Yeah.
46-12 was the final there. West Lowndes a winner.
Oh, and look, the Big Nasty texted me. He's 20. What was that? Canton and who?
Hang on just a second. I'm sorry, Russ.
CCHS.
Okay, I'm getting there.
Yeah. Well, I just got a score on the Big Nasty sent me the score.
Well, I know
on
Big Nasty. Yeah. Cleveland Central.
Cleveland Central.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Canton won.
No, Cleveland Central won 27-26.
Okay.
Over Canton tonight, and ends Canton season. They had a nice season.
Yeah, Canton goes 8-4. Cleveland Central's undefeated at 12-0.
Ooh.
So that was a good win for them, I guess.
Tell you what, when Dr. Dave gets those scores quicker than we can, and we're in the state.
Yeah, but he's got those CIA connections.
I don't know if that's a good thing much anymore.
I don't know. But he's got connections somewhere.
All right, so he does mention, DeSoto, who you mentioned in 2A, is an 8-man game.
Right.
DeSoto, yeah.
Right. Okay.
So it's not just 1A, it's 2A.
Okay, yeah, they have a 1A and a 2A, but did you get a final?
No, that was Joel Norris, actually, that sent me that.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've heard his podcast. Joel used to be with us, and he's got a podcast now. So this is really good. But he sent me a note saying DeSoto is an 8-man. They're the 8-man champions in MAIS 2A, so that means they did win the game.
Okay, we're just trying to. We'll get a final from you.
Yeah, we'll get. So we're going to be here till midnight tonight, and we got a full slate of folks that are going to be calling in, and we'll even take your calls. You want to call in 877-672-7464, We're going to be hearing tonight from Mike Peterson, of course, from Hattiesburg, and Jake Wimberly from Brandon. Harold will not be in a good mood, but he will be calling. But what a season, what a turnaround for the Petal Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, last year they struggled. I don't remember how many games they won. Maybe,
Those, I think, yeah.
It was 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But they finished 8-5 this year. Really quality season for Petal.
Yep.
Big turnaround.
Big turnaround. Got a lot of folks. Brandon Shields is going to wrap up the show. And Granny will be in at 11:30 to take the Crazy Egg section tonight because he's been pitching a tent over there at JA, and he's there all day today. So we want to find out what's going on there. We will step aside and take a time out. Tonight's show being made possible by Malone Roofers. They're more than just roofers. They're a part of your community. We'll take a time out and be back in a moment.
At Mississippi Public Broadcasting, we tell local stories that matter. Educational and entertaining television, radio, news, and podcasts. We have something for everyone. So tune in and enjoy all we have to offer. Every day, MPB. Your stories, our mission.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket.
I volunteer at a bunny rescue, and with Cricket, my bill is consistent.
Wait, this is huge! A new offer, 5G for $15. You heard it here first. 5G plans starting at $15 a month. Smile, you're on Cricket.
If the money's yours, you should have it. That's why State Treasurer David McRae has returned a record $80 million in unclaimed money to Mississippians, and there's hundreds of millions more, maybe with your name on it. Check the list. Visit www.treasury.ms.gov and see if you have any of the unclaimed money. Each year, banks, utilities, businesses, brokers, and insurance companies turn over millions of dollars to the state because they're not sure who is entitled to the funds. Treasurer McRae has an entire unclaimed money staff waiting to take your claim and return your money. Check the list today. Treasury.ms.gov.
Robinson along with George Broadstreet, and we're going to be, Chris, you got the scores running on the website, right?
Yes.
All right, George, before we go to Reed Vance, got an update on some scores.
Yeah, I did want to give you this one. We've talked about this several times. The 2A championship game, MAIS, was won by DeSoto School, and they defeated Tunica 58-32. So that was a score that we did not have a few minutes ago. But I think we have all the scores now.
All the scores are in the barn.
All the scores, yes. All the games are done, and we've got them all. And so we'll be talking about them throughout the night, and we'll run down the scores again in a few minutes.
Oh, absolutely. Let's go to Reed Vance. And, Reed, back in August, we didn't know, but you kept saying, hey, these guys can play. They got to put it all together. And I guess about halfway through the season, they started putting it together. And apparently it has paid off.
It really has. They've won 7 in a row. The Vikings beat South Panola tonight 21-3. And all the big guys scored touchdowns tonight. Maddox Lynch, Eric Collins, who had a 53-yard run in the fourth quarter to put it away. And Aiden Greer had a touchdown as well. The Vikings had 3 takeaways tonight, and South Panola really just wasn't able to get anything going offensively. And look, South Panola's a good football team.
Yep.
They came into this game averaging 32 points a game.
And got 3.
They got three. I've been telling folks all year long, this is the best high school defense, this Warren Central defense I've ever seen. And they really stymied a very good offensive football team tonight. The Vikings now have given up just 35 points in their last 7 games combined. And they haven't given up a touchdown in 3 weeks. So they're playing their absolute best football. It is fun to watch.
Where was this game played tonight?
At Warren Central.
Okay. Because I know I've done enough games up at South Panola to hear that Tiger all night long. You know, it's got them in the loudspeaker. Go ahead, George.
I was going to say, Reed, you're now in the North Championship for 6A, and I'm not so sure you're not having to play maybe the best team out there besides Warren Central, and that's being Grenada. They beaten Neshoba Central pretty bad tonight, so that's going to be a great matchup.
It's going to be a great matchup. These are the 2 teams that played last year in round 2 at Warren Central, and Grenada won that football game. Grenada's an outstanding football team again this year. Probably one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the state, regardless of classification. The thing I really like about what Warren Central's doing right now is they've added a couple of wrinkles, and you don't do that a lot in the playoffs. I mean, their quarterback, Nash Morgan, has quietly managed this team so very well. He's got speed, and he's starting to turn it on. They're starting to give him the ball. They're starting to run the ball with him a little bit more. And so that adds one more element to that offense. And again, the defense averaging 14 tackles for a loss a game, and they were at it again tonight. They're just clicking, man. They're clicking. And so it should be a fantastic game next Friday night.
Are you saying that every game they get a minimum of 14 tackles for loss?
Well, they had 150 tackles for a loss coming into tonight's game, and they had played 11 games. So, I've got my math going on in my head, Russ. Don't make me do math on the radio.
Sorry about that. And I know it's late. We're going to cut you some slack.
That's for 14 tackles for a loss a game.
Well,
their defensive line is just unreal. They get off the ball so well. They shoot the gaps better than any team I think I've ever seen. They're just relentless.
Well, to put that in perspective, and in a high school game, you might get 50 offensive plays. So virtually, like 1 out of every 4 plays, they're tackling somebody for a loss.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And, when you keep a team behind the sticks like
right.
they do,
right,
that's tough to score. I mean, but a lot of difference between 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 11.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned was it Nash Morgan?
Nash Morgan is their quarterback.
And that Morgan name seems, I was going to say, seems very familiar.
Yeah, there's a lot of, the name Morgan's all over the place. And rightly so. And, sometimes you call a quarterback a good game manager, you're giving him a backhanded compliment. That's not the case with this kid. He's really grown up. He's still just a sophomore, by the way.
Wow.
And so he stayed at about 50% pass completions. Their offense doesn't ask him to do anything that he can't do. He's going to take 2 or 3 shots deep, usually on the sideline for a ball game. But then he's got guys around him that make great plays, and he gets him the ball. He's very efficient with it. We've talked about Maddox Lynch a lot, 6'5", 230 tight end. Made a great catch tonight. And I got to give also a shout-out tonight. Big defensive play, DeCasey Crump, a senior, a Superman-like play to break up a pass in the end zone and kind of really put the Vikings on top for good.
Well, now, as I understand it, all those games leading up to the championship game are at Warren Central, aren't they?
Yeah, they'll be back at home next Friday night. Yeah, back at home. So, I mean, it's really setting up well for them. If they get to Hattiesburg, they'll have a tough out against whomever.
Yeah.
Hattiesburg, perhaps, I don't know. But one game at a time, and that'll be a dandy next. I'm looking forward to it. Tonight was really exciting. This is a team in Warren Central that's lost out in the second round of the playoffs a lot.
Yes, yeah.
To get to the 3rd round is big for them, and I think that they got an excellent chance to get to Hattiesburg.
All right, Reed, thanks for staying up with us tonight. Congrats on the win, and we will talk with you next week, my friend.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Good
All
night.
right.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You
All
too,
right.
my friend. All right, Joseph Craven is called in and going to preview tomorrow's game between Prep and Hartfield. Joseph, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I am. I'm feeling the nerves already, getting ready for the big game, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. It's going to be a blast being able to witness what should be a great, a rematch, part 2 from last year's championship game. It should be a good one.
What is the difference, Joseph? And by the way, we may hold you over if we get a break here because I want to talk to you about this. What is the difference between this game and the game that was played earlier this year?
I think the big difference, at least from the Hartfield perspective, is the Hawks feel a lot more comfortable having gone through those difficult MRA and Prep regular season games with figuring out rotations a bit more. Of course, Hartfield's schedule up until that point had a lot of running clock games, had a lot of weaker opposition, and so the MRA and the Jackson Prep games in the regular season, well, they were just straight gut punches. They just were very humbling moments for the team, for the coaches to kind of figure out what they needed to work on. So from the Hartfield perspective, I think that's the number one thing first and foremost is the coaches and the players have a bit better understanding of some of the rotation, some of the things to look out for. And that was evident in Hartfield's 17-14 victory over MRA in the playoffs last week, kind of getting a little bit of revenge for the first loss of the season. Hartfield played more disciplined and just played a little bit more, looked like they had a little bit more confidence in themselves and were not being intimidated by the moment. And I think that's the big thing coming into this one is Jackson Prep knows exactly who they are, and Hartfield has figured out once again who they are. And it was a great matchup in the regular season. Came down to Jackson Prep scoring late in the game, a minute and a half left maybe less than that, in order to take the lead and hold on to it. And I fully expect it to be just as much of a slugfest tomorrow.
Well, of course, you've got two of the best wideouts in high school football. You've got Kinsey West and you've got Braylon Womack. And you got a young man in Tapper that can get the ball to him. The pass he threw to Kinsey West on the backside of Kinsey's shoulder in that game was unbelievable. How is Tapper doing?
The thing with Kanan Tapper is he is tough as nails. I said this towards the end of the broadcast in the MRA game last week. Jackson Prep, MRA, and then on into the St. Joe and then the JA games to end the regular season. All those teams brought great pressure, brought defensive schemes. Kamen did a great job of standing tall in the pocket and taking a lot of hits. And he's stood up every single time, and he's risen to the occasion. So that's what is so impressive about him as a player. He's got great long ball touch. He's got good, he has a little bit of the Russell Wilson repertoire of deep passes. But what is most significant with him, I think, is he is not intimidated by the moment. He's unfazed. He is cold as calm, cool, and collected, and then he's tough as nails. So he's as a senior this year. He played great as a junior last year, but as a senior this year, he's really stepped up and kind of led by example in the way that he, stands tall in the pocket and isn't afraid of the pressure coming in. And it's impressive to watch him because he does a lot of things that, he does the dirty work, I guess is what I'm trying to say. He does a lot of stuff that you're like, well, that's a great play once we saw it. It doesn't blow you away, but then you watch it again, you're like, oh, my gosh, he had a defensive lineman, a foot away from him.
Yeah, how to get the pass off. Didn't y'all run some Wildcat last week, too?
Yes, absolutely. Kinsey West, who is just a great athlete in general, and from what I understand, was a pretty good baseball player when he was a little bit younger. So he's not afraid to throw a ball around a little bit. He's been taking some snaps in the Wildcat, did it a few possessions against MRA in the regular season, and did it a decent amount last week against MRA again. And this, of course, was after running back Katie Catchings had already crossed 100 yards rushing on the game. So it was a good way to kind of spell Katie Catchings a bit while still relying on the rushing attack, and ran it pretty effectively. See what the Hawks, if they feature that in the game plan a little bit more tomorrow, or if they feel like, the more traditional offense is what they need to do to try to beat the Patriots of Jackson Prep.
It should be a good one. The kickoff is at 6 o'clock, and so I'll look forward to seeing you over there at MC tomorrow, and that will be one heck of a football game. Joseph, thank you so much for giving us a preview on that, and we'll see you tomorrow night at the ball game. Absolutely. Thanks, brother.
Oh, yeah. I might not sleep tonight. I'm so ready for it.
Start calling it now in your sleep. That helps. Thanks, my man. All right, we're going to duck out of here, take a time out. Tonight's show being brought to you by and made possible by Cricket Wireless. Smile. You're on Cricket. Back in a moment.
At Mississippi Public Broadcasting, we tell local stories that matter. Educational and entertaining television, radio, news, and podcasts. We have something for everyone. So tune in and enjoy all we have to offer. Every day, MPB. Your stories, our mission.
I was spending too much money in 5G, and then my son suggested that I should try cricket. It was easy to switch.
And we love easy. Yeah! Smile, you're on Cricket.
I was paying too much money in 5G, and then my son suggested that I should try cricket. It was easy to switch.
And we love easy. Yeah! Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket has free Samsung Galaxy phones. Whoa! Free phones? That's 5G. And nationwide coverage.
Pretty good deal.
Smile, you're on Cricket.
1 in 10 Mississippians has unclaimed money awaiting claim at the state treasury. There's literally hundreds of millions of dollars waiting to be united with the rightful owner. At www.treasury.ms.gov to search. You'll see your name and stake your claim by following these instructions. You'll be asked for some basic ID like a copy of your license or a government-issued ID, then hit send. Treasurer David McRae has a dedicated unclaimed money team awaiting your claim, ready to return your money. Don't wait. Look for your name and stake your claim today. www.treasury.ms.gov.
Cricket has free Samsung Galaxy phones? What?
Nationwide coverage and lightning fast 5G?
Smile, you're on Cricket.
Mississippi.
Cricket has free Samsung Galaxy phones?
Welcome back to Friday Night on the Lights. I got to meet that guy that does the IDs for Mississippi Public Broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that mellow voice. Sounds like Barry White. I like that guy. Jared Schatz is on the phone, and the Mavericks have had an outstanding season, but it came to an end tonight. Jared, how you doing, bud?
Hey, guys, doing well. Hate the Germantown run is over, but just ran into a very good Madison Central team tonight and took one on the chin, 45-14. So, we hate it's over. Germantown jumped on top of them, 7-0. MC would answer the bell, tied up at 7. Germantown another big score, make it 14-7, and we thought we were just going to exchange blows for a while, and Madison Central knotted it up, and they made some really good adjustments, especially stopping our running game, and really had some big key plays. They had a 3rd and 22, and honestly, I don't know what happened with the defense, a lot of miscommunication, but a big quarterback run did them in for a touchdown, had a speed option that went the distance. So Madison Central broke the game open with two big running plays, and that did us in. And, really we're trying to fight from behind. And kudos to Madison Central. That's a ball club, guys, that I think is going to give Tupelo all they want next week.
Well, Tupelo had a close game tonight, but, a lot of people just kind of going ahead and writing them in, and I think Madison Central is going to have something to say about that.
Yeah, you always see on college game day, or the Lee Corso say, not so fast, my friends. I would agree on this one. Well, I think Madison Central is really gelling at the right time. Look, we've always known that Toby Collins and the Jags have good defense and they run the football well, but their passing game, especially in key moments, is really starting to come about, and I think it's going to give Tupelo some fits, so we'll see.
Would you say it's fair to say that their running game opens up their passing game?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, they've got the big tight end and Micah Jones, who's committed to Florida, and he's out there, trying to grade the way for his running backs, and I think when they're able to run the football and play action off of it, they become very dangerous. They didn't even have their star running back tonight in Singleton. There's a strong rumor he may be done for the year. I surely hope not. He would be a big peg out of the wheel for Madison Central, but they've got a big offensive front and they lean on you throughout the night.
Well, let's talk about your coverage. It's coming up in a couple of weeks on Mississippi Public Broadcasting of the state championship games.
Yeah, guys, absolutely excited about it. Obviously, that was the final Germantown broadcast for football for the year, but we will have all 7 of the state championships here in a couple of weeks, and fired up about it. Going to have a great crew. I tell you, it looks like I was watching all the scores and listening to you guys, and we are going to have some great matchups. I know we're still not there yet as far as finalizing those spots, but we are going to have some matchups that I think we'll remember for a long time. The way this, I mean, look, we're talking about Tupelo potentially and Brandon meeting, and that would be a good one. But even if you get Madison Central in there for that rematch from a few years ago, it's really gonna be a really good show with all these games that are going to pan out next week.
Well, and you guys do a great job of doing it, Jared. Thanks so much. Hate it. The season ended for the Mavs tonight, but at least it'll give you a little rest before you head into that week of the state championship games. And again, thank you for making us a part of your Friday night. It makes this show what it is.
Well, thank you guys. There's nothing better than turning you guys on, win or lose, and the state of Mississippi really appreciate all of you guys up there and what you do.
Thank you, brother. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Y'all too, guys. See you later.
All righty. Let's go to Cliff Barker now, who handles the play-by-play for Tri-County. And Cliff, we were just sitting there trying to think, how many years in a row, or even like in the last 10 years, Tri-County's been in this game?
All right, so here's the numbers. They've been 4 straight years, 8 out of the last 10, 11 out of the last 15.
Good gracious. They're just a machine.
Yeah, it's been an era of dominance. I mean, they've had the advantage of, they've hit it just right. They've hit the cycles right, where the numbers will put them at kind of the top of a division. But even still, it's all about beating the teams that get put in front of you, and they just continue to keep that program rolling, and it's just next man up every year, and they just continue to beat the teams that get put in front of them.
Well, and Josh West asked me to go up there one time for one of their pep rallies, and they had brought in all the elementary school kids and everything. And I think that's a key to why that school keeps putting out these football players. They, in the first grade, they're ready to go to work now. I mean, they're just.
There's a few new faces, but for the most part, I mean, that's one thing that's a little unique in today's day and age when people bounce around so much, is that there are. I'm not saying there's not anybody that's new that's there, but for the most part, the core of that team is kids that grew up in that school and in that football program, and I think that's important to the tradition and just that year after year dominance they've had in this big run they've had going on for the last decade and a half.
Well, they got a 27-3 win today. Apparently, you just shut them down.
Well, that's not the way it went. It didn't quite go like that. It was a game that the first half was all Bowling Green. Bowling Green has about a 260-pound fullback named Bubby Bryant that came out and dominated the first half. Tri-County had some bend but don't break, and Bowling Green actually led 3-0 until 2 minutes remaining in the first half. The Rebels took back over with 2 minutes left in the second quarter, and were able to put together a decent drive, and then one of the prettiest passes I've seen all year for Bryce Warner to Peyton Patridge for a 40-yard touchdown, put the Rebels ahead 7-3 at the half. And the Rebels made some halftime adjustments and came out in the second half, took control. They've got a junior running back named Hayden Hunt, and Hunt went on to rush for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. And, Bryce Warner didn't have a lot of passing tonight, but big passes in the moments when it counted and put the game away 27-3.
Well, I guess they just keep, getting the rings, putting them on their fingers over there at Tri-County. And,
and that was a rematch of last year's 4A title game. That's the same 2 schools again, and I think Bowling Green had 15 or 16 seniors this year. So that was a team that most of the team played against Tri-County in the championship 1 year ago. So it was, it's tough to beat a team twice like that, especially being a tight game through 3 quarters, but Tri-County really stretched it out in the 4th quarter.
Well, and you just had this feeling, Cliff, that, as we followed Tri-County this year, that this was, again, their year. They just dominated. I'm not even sure you had that many close games. 2, maybe.
Okay. So we had tonight's game was 24 points. We had a playoff game that was a 21-point deficit, and then last week's game was 14, and that was the closest of the season. You had a 14-point game last week, and that was their closest game in a 13-0 season. So it was an impressive season. But what's even more impressive, we talked about this in the postgame tonight, my color guy, Spence Shepard, and I, is that this is a team that really had some question marks at the beginning of the year with only 1 starting offensive lineman returning. You had 4 guys that had to come in there and fill spots from a team that had a dominant offensive line last year. Mm-hmm. And the even better news for the Rebels, they're loaded with skill position players, and the 9th and 10th grade bunch has got some big bodies down there on the offensive line, a lot of 210 to 230-pound kids as 9th graders. And that's not good news for opponents going forward, but we'll have to wait and see with all this new MAIS classification. I think Tri-County is going to end up in a little bit bigger position. Going to be a little bit tougher for the Rebels next year, but I expect a really good Rebel squad to take the field. And you know Watson and his coaching staff has done a great job year after year. One of the best coaching staffs in the MAIS, and I just look forward to another big year next year. I mean, that's just I guess my expectation is just the same as what the players are. We just expect to keep winning.
Well, with those weights that you just gave, I think I might want to swing over there and start eating lunch in that cafeteria, man. I don't know what those guys are eating.
It was funny this year that when you looked at the junior high team, the kids wearing lineman numbers look bigger on the junior high team than they did on the high school team.
Wow. I would say, Cliff, there's some good days ahead.
Yeah, I think so. I hope I get to call you guys with a lot of those easy calls like I've had all year next year again. I know I've been the boring caller because every time it's like, oh, we won by 35. It gets kind of old. But I will be honest, I am looking forward. From the things I've seen for next year, I think we're going to see a significant increase in competition next year, and honestly, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Should be good. Well, go ahead, George.
No, I was going to always say, I have this argument sometime with my wife, and she's watching a game, and she says, well, that team always wins. And I said, look, winning never gets old.
Never
gets old.
Look, I had a conversation with one of my buddies at Deer Camp a few weeks ago, and he was talking about, this team was better than this team, and this team was better than this team. And I said, you know what? Every year is its own separate entity.
Right.
All that matters is that you beat the teams in front of you.
Right.
It doesn't matter who was better than who. What matters is this team beat the 13 teams that got put in front of them and took care of business every week. And no matter what level you're at, that's a difficult thing to do. So I say kudos to all these kids. It was a great year for the coaching staff, the players, everything, and I look forward to another big year next year.
Cliff, thanks so much for making us a part of your Friday night and making this show what it is, and we certainly hope that you and your family have a great Thanksgiving.
We will. We're getting ready to head to Starkville tomorrow. So
there you go. There you go. Well, be careful going up there.
All right, I'll talk to you guys in August.
Sounds good. Be here before you know it.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Cliff. We got Jake Wimberly up on the phone. We're going to get to him after we get through this break. But big win for Brandon tonight. I'm telling you, they're setting up a match. I need someone to call tonight from Tupelo and talk to us about this team. Were we talking about Tupelo back in August? I don't remember.
No, we weren't. But last year, and Chris and I was talking before we went on the air. Tupelo had one of those years last year where they just rolled everybody, and they got down about this point in the season. I'm pretty sure it was Starkville that they met last year in about this round and lost. Just really surprised and just lost. So they survived a close game tonight, and they'll face the it is well. One of the sportscasters here used to say the Jaguars from Madison Central. So that will be a good matchup for sure.
All right, we're going to step aside, take a timeout, and be back with Jake Wimberly on the other side. Keep it right here. Friday night, Under the Lights, presented tonight by the State Treasurer, David McRae. We'll be back in a moment.
At Mississippi Public Broadcasting, we tell local stories that matter. Educational and entertaining television, radio, news, and podcasts. We have something for everyone. So tune in and enjoy all we have to offer. Every day, MPB. Your stories, our mission.
Mississippi football families, have you thought about how you're going to tackle student loan debt? Don't do it on your own. Pass the ball to State Treasurer David McRae and his College Savings Mississippi team today. With College Savings Mississippi, you can lock in today's tuition rate, prepay college, and avoid student loan debt altogether. Don't let your finances get sacked because you didn't invest in your child's education. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more today.
I was paying too much money in 5G, and then my son suggested that I should try cricket. It was easy to switch.
And we love easy. 4. Yeah. Smile, you're on cricket.
I was paying too much money in 5G, and then my son suggested that I should try cricket. It was easy to switch.
And we love easy. 4. Yeah. Smile, you're on cricket.
Cricket has free Samsung Galaxy phones. Whoa! Free phone? That's 5G. And nationwide coverage.
Pretty good deal.
Smile, you're on cricket.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. Russ Robinson along with George Broad-Street. And we're going to bring in Jake Wimberly, who is the voice of the Brandon Bulldogs, who probably has one of the most fun jobs on Friday night of anybody. And he gets to call one of the best high school football teams, and that is the Brandon Bulldogs. Jake, how are you, friend?
Russ, it was a chilly night tonight out here in Mississippi. So, and probably going to be a chilly night out there at Mississippi College. But, hey, tomorrow night it was a great night for Brandon out at Bulldog Stadium tonight.
Well, and, you talked about how improved Petal was coming into this game. Didn't you see them earlier this year?
Yeah, we went down to Petal, middle of the season. Obviously, their region competitor, and we beat them 45-10 earlier this year. And look, this is a much improved team. Marcus Spoils, as we know, I mean, the pedigree is there. Whenever you say that name in Mississippi high school football, everybody knows about the track record and the state championships, and they're a much improved team this year. But tonight, Brandon really just hit the gas again, and a storyline in this ballgame, guys, that a lot of people may not have known is, there was a big quarterback battle in Brandon this year between Slayton Shack, sophomore, who moved in from Brookhaven, Mississippi, and then Jacob Chancellor, who's a senior, really good baseball player, just won a state championship this past spring with Brandon. And, Jacob and Slayton went after each other, through spring and through the summer. And then, Slayton ended up with a job. And Jacob got some time through the year. Well, Slayton had an ankle injury last week against Iberville, and we still don't know, his availability over the next week or two. But Chancellor comes in tonight, Russ, and he throws almost for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns tonight off the bench. And he just came in and played like a senior should. And the thing that makes Brandon so tough is it's like pick your poison. What do you want to do? I mean, 7, Tyson Robinson. I know we just had the Mississippi Mr. Football Awards, and all of those guys are well-deserving. I'd put Tyson Robinson up against anybody as a sophomore. He's a guy that went over 1,000 yards rushing tonight, 500 yards receiving. That's a Brandon record. First time any back, not even Jarius Norwood did that.
Wow.
He's got right at 20 offers around the country, and we're talking SEC offers, everybody but Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon. And look, he's just getting started. And what makes him so deadly is tonight, for instance, very first play of the game, to really tee up Jacob Chancellor. Brandon, put twins on one side, twins on the other, and you're talking about big body wide receivers like Jay McQueen, who is a big, big part of this program, and, of course, a part of Brandon's baseball team. He just committed to South Alabama in baseball and will play football as well. And then they moved Tyson Robinson to the slot. And I feel sorry for any linebacker that's got to cover him because, Russ, they can't do it. And they just ran him on a shoot route right down the middle of the field. Chancellor laid it out there about 50 yards on a dime, and Bulldogs were off and running. So, defensively, Brandon has more speed. This is the best Brandon defense that I have ever seen. And, since I've been there, 14 years I've been there, and this is by far the best collection of Bulldogs that we've seen. So, just a lot of talent. Chancellor played well tonight. Tyson Robinson over 250 yards of total offense tonight. Your guy, Quincy Phillips, he caught 7 balls for about 125 tonight. Wow. Just really have this engine humming headed into the South State next week.
Well, you got to take them one at a time, and of course, you're going to be playing a team in the South State, Jake, that's kind of been flying under the radar and are playing the best football that they've played this year now.
Oh, absolutely. Look, we had to go down to Ocean Springs a couple years ago and play a South State game when, Ocean Springs had Bray Hubbard, who obviously now is a safety for Alabama. And you know this, Russ, because you call ball games down there. That is just a different place. The wind never stops blowing at Ocean Springs, coming in off the water. And it's a very interesting atmosphere. So, talking to Sam Williams at our coaches show this week, he actually said, hey, I almost kind of want to go on the road to play. He said, I feel like he said, it sounds crazy, but he said, we seem to gel better as a team on the road, oddly this year. And, we've had some very successful wins at Picayune this year, at Gulfport this year, and some other places. So he's going to get his wish. Dogs are going to, eat that Thanksgiving turkey on Thursday, and then we'll all load up and we'll head south on Friday.
Wow, that is, that may be one of the marquee matchups for next weekend. I mean, there's a lot of people that think that this Ocean Springs team is really clicking on all cylinders, but it's also, I've heard so many people say this week that they are amazed at how fast Brandon is.
Well, there's 100% a lot of team speed. And when you say team speed, a lot of people think wide receivers, and that is obviously true. But, Russ, this defensive front for Brandon is a very, I don't want to say average. That's taking credit away from those guys. Very good, but we've seen better defensive fronts around the state. They're very, very good. But what makes them better is that second and third level. You've got a guy, like Ashton Moore, who moved in from Georgia. He's got offers all over the country, and he can flat out get after it. He is nasty when he gets to the ball. Preston Ashley's a guy who's also got offers all over the country. He's been, heavily recruited over the last 2 years. They can move him to corner. They can move him to strong safety. You've got 3 guys in that secondary. Lahari Bowles, also Jay McQueen's brother, Trey McQueen, who could be the best player on that defense as a sophomore, and some other guys as well. Norwood, you can just name them off. And these guys can get after. Got a 9th grader who just got an offer last week playing linebacker, and they're long.
Wait a minute, he's a 9th grader and he got an offer?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he got his first start at Meridian a few weeks ago, had 10 tackles against Meridian and 2 sacks, and Arkansas State said, "Yep, we're in. We'll give you an offer," and threw him an offer. Sure did.
As a freshman.
So they are loaded at linebacker. They are loaded in the secondary, and they're interchangeable parts. And that's what Greg Robinson and his defensive staff are doing right now is they're interchanging these guys and moving them around, really putting a lot of motion around the box, making it very tough for offensive linemen to kind of make calls. And they have enough team speed, Russ, where they can just line up on you and dare you to throw it and lock you up man to man and play McQueen as a safety high. And so far, that has been the meal ticket this year.
Wow. Are we going to see you at Mississippi College tomorrow night?
Yes, I will be out there, Russ. I'll actually be working the Hartfield sideline, so I get the duties on the Hartfield sideline tomorrow night. And of course, I know I'll probably see you. I'll try to find you in the lounge in there. We'll try to meet you.
The hospitality room. Yeah, you probably will find me probably during the game. I'm just Hey, Jake.
I'll look for you.
Okay, that sounds great. We'll look. It's going to be a little coolish down there tomorrow, too.
There's no doubt about it. Well, look, guys, I appreciate it. We should have a fantastic championship game tomorrow night.
All righty, bud. Thanks, Jake. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks so much. All right.
All right. Yes, Chris.
Mike Peterson.
I want to.
What do you want to do?
We're going to 11 or at 10:58 or 59?
Yeah, you got 3. 57.
57, 2 minutes.
We'll try, Mike. If we need to, we'll hold him over.
We need to hold him over.
Okay. Bring in the voice of the Hattiesburg Tigers, Mike Peterson. Good evening, sir. Another night at the office for the Tigers.
I'm not going to say another night of the office. It was a little tense, but we pulled it out 33-17. Deuce Vance, star of the night, accounted for all 5 of the Hattiesburg touchdowns, 3 rushing and 2 passing. Didn't start off too well for the Tigers tonight as Pascagoula tried an onside kick to begin the game and recovered the onside kick. And I told you earlier today, I can say this now. I was nervous all week about this game, and then when Pascagoula got the onside kick, the nerves kicked in a little bit more. But the Hattiesburg defense, just like they've done all year, held Pascagoula on 4 downs. Tigers took over. Deuce Vance took them on downfield, ran in from 10 yards out, held Pascagoula the next time. Then Deuce Vance again carries it in for 2 yards out, just like that. The Tigers were up 13-0. Pascagoula did come and take a 14-13 lead in the first half, but Tigers closed out the first half with a touchdown pass to Tyree Barnett, went into the half up 19-14. Held Pascagoula to a field goal in the second half, attacked on 2 more touchdowns to put it away. Tigers win 33-17, and like Coach Vance said after the game tonight, there's nothing like practicing on Thanksgiving Day.
And the guys are going, oh, great. Well, you certainly don't want to watch the Dallas game, so I'd rather practice than watch that. You mentioned Deuce Vance. Does he have any offers anywhere?
He's going to go to South Alabama next year and play. He's going to play as a defensive back. That's just how athletic he is. In fact, if you know Pascagoula, they've got a great passing game, and Deuce play both ways tonight, so he's got a little bit of practice in playing defensive back this evening.
All right. Well, congratulations on the win tonight. We'll talk to you next week, and have a happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Y'all too. Happy holidays.
All righty. We're going to step aside, take a time out, and tonight's show being made possible by David McRae, State Treasurer for Mississippi, and his college savings program. We'll be back in a moment.
At Mississippi Public Broadcasting, we tell local stories that matter. Educational and entertaining television, radio, news, and podcasts. We have something for everyone. So tune in and enjoy all we have to offer. Every day, MPB. Your stories, our mission.
Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job, and my new roof looks great.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket.
I volunteer at a bunny rescue, and with Cricket, my bill is consistent.
Wait, this is huge! A new offer, 5G for 15. You heard it here first. 5G plans starting at $15 a month. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket. Cricket gives me the coverage I need at a really fair price.
Stop! This came all the way from the top. New offer, 5G plan starting at $15 a month. Let's go! Smile, you're on Cricket.
Welcome back to Friday Night in the Lights. Hour 11. Where did 11 o'clock? Where did it go?
Where did it go?
Man.
Yeah, it went by in a hurry, didn't it?
It did. All right, before we get to Eric Smith, let's go over the scores that we have.
Okay.
Because we got all of them.
We've got them all now. Let's take it from the top. 7A and MHSAA tonight. As mentioned just a few moments ago, Madison Central defeated Germantown 45-14. And they'll play in the North Championship game against Tupelo, who edged Starkville tonight 35-34. In the South, 7A, Brandon defeated Petal 39-10, and Ocean Springs defeated Oak Grove 27-14. Moving to 6A, Grenada, a big winner over Neshoba Central 31-7. Warren Central beat South Panola 21-3. It was Hattiesburg over Pascagoula, 33-17. Hattiesburg's now 12-0. And last but not least, Picayune defeated George County by the score of 63-40. In 5A, it was West Point edging Holmes County Central 31-28. Cleveland Central edged Canton 27-26. Brookhaven beat Stone 33-7, and another 1-point game, Gaucher over Wayne County 28-27. In 4A action, West Lauderdale beat Shannon 26-23, Louisville over New Albany 39-7, Forest 17, Quitman 12, and last but not least, Poplarville over Macomb 42-21. In 3A, it was Choctaw County. They won their 12th game of the year, defeating Rosa Fort 37-0. East Webster 35, Aberdeen 0. It's Noxubee County over Seminary 45-15. McGee doubled up Jefferson County 12-6. In 2A, Northside over Union 20-3. Charleston defeated Calhoun City 30-12. Heidelberg 30, Bay Springs 8. And Raleigh beat Lloyd Star 36-8. In 1A, Baldwin beat Vardaman 29-7. West Lowndes over Myrtle 46-12. Simmons won their 12th game of the year. They beat Lumberton tonight 22-18. And Velma Jackson rolled Taylorsville by the score of 60-18. In MAIS action, the games that were played either Thursday night or Friday, in the 5A championship game, Park Lane outscored Leake 70-42. In the 4A championship game, Tri-County defeated Bowling Green 27-3. The 3A went to Kirk Academy. They finished the season 13-0. They defeated Marshall 35-10. In the 2A championship game, it was DeSoto School of Arkansas over Tunica Academy, 58-32. And the 1A championship game, which is played today, Briarfield Academy 32 and Wilkinson County Christian 18. Russ, that's all the scores.
All right, Chris, who do we got up?
Eric Smith.
Oh, Eric. Eric Smith, how are you tonight? What, are you on your cell phone?
Yeah, I am on my cell phone.
There you go. There you go. You were a little soft. What games were you able to check out?
I caught the end of that 2A 8 game. I caught the bit. That was a good one. And then I watched that track meet between the Pioneers, Park Lane. Park Lane and Lee. You know, look. You look at that score and you say, why is it like that? It's like that because, I know a coach, so God bless you. Don't kick no onside. When you pick the onside to me, and I know you're trying to get in the ball game, Ron Rushing, Coach Ron Rushing ain't going to give you the chance to get back in that ball game. Hey, look, hold on. I think Jack Scholl just scored another one, okay? Count was 5 touchdowns when I turned it on.
Wow.
5 touchdowns by their little running back. It'll tough. But look, you can't take no mercy. He's going to come out here and do what he's going to try to do to get an onside kick. He obviously can't execute. We got the ball at the 50 or at the 48. What do you think we're going to do? 3 and punt back to you? We're going to score. We're not going to give you a chance. You're down by 21 points with 10 minutes to play in the third quarter. You're down by 21. Kick 2 onside kicks. They scored twice. It was 3 touchdowns from coming out of half to the 10-minute mark. It was 2 and 1.
Wow.
2 for Park Lane and 1 for Lee. In just that 2-minute span, don't kick an onside kick. Kick it deep. At least play for a turnover and play for some kind of turnover and a defensive stop. You're back in the ballgame. He gave that offense half the field. And I'm talking, look, Cool has jets, buddy. He has jets. He can play some video game moves. He's fun and good, and he just he just run right through defense of Lee, and it was like what game he played. Play in a senior, play your best game ever at that point. Man, my hat's off to that. Way to go.
Well, I saw him earlier this year, and I thought they had a good team, and I think Ron Rushing does a great job wherever he is. But he's done an outstanding job with this Park Lane team this year, and for them to win like that today was huge. I got a question for you. Are you going to Mississippi College tomorrow to see a ball game?
Unfortunately, I'm in Oklahoma still.
You are driving tonight.
No, I'm parked tonight. I've been parked all evening, just waiting on the show to call. You must have made some connections out at MAIS, buddy, because I got my business, buddy. I got my new classification, son, and I like it. Look, this is going to be exciting.
Give me one change, Eric, that you like the most about, because we got 4 people on. We got to get going. Give me one change you like about the new structure.
Presbyterian Christian.
Do what?
Presbyterian Christian.
Where did they wind up?
Making the jump. They got the Coast District in 3A. They got St. Aloysius, St. Patrick, West Marion, and Tylertown. They're going to fare good in that, Russ.
Yeah.
They're going to fare really good in that.
Yeah.
Travel. That's what they said. It was all about travel.
Yep.
Not necessarily competition. But Murderers Row, West Marion's pretty good football team, but that's not Murderers Row. That is not Murderers Row. Quickly, and then I'll let you get on your other call. 5A made a huge jump. 5A total face a whole lot different. Lanier moved up to 5A again. Vicksburg dropped down to 5A. Picked up a local district on a local team there.
a new 5A2 North, Lawrence, Holmes County, Cleveland Central, Canton moved up. No, Canton moved out. Canton moved out. Canton going 6A. Canton is going 6A. You know, I mean, it's a lot of. I like it. I think it's going to be very. Because a lot of people say that classifications are based on how good you are. That's not.
No.
Classifications is based on the number of students where they can be competitive against one another.
That's correct.
Last thing, the Wildcats of Louisville, who I like to talk about, going to have a real tough district next year because they got. They're going to have Greenwood. They're going to have the Choctaw Nation, and they're going to have the Yazoo City. Have a good little district next year. They're going to have a good region.
Some good competition. Well, Eric, we got to
Are we
run.
on the show next week?
Yep. Give us a buzz next week. It'll be one of the most fun. It's always the most fun of the weeks because they're semifinal games. So you be careful. Get that rig back home to Mississippi, and we'll talk to you. Have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, y'all too.
Thank you.
Ansley's better-looking replacement is on the phone to visit about
the coast.
The Gold Coast.
Yes.
Javon.
This is who?
Javon.
Javon, he was on with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were with us, a week or so ago. Now,
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
I got to ask you because, we hadn't been talking about Ocean Springs all year, but those first 4 games they played were just brutal as far as the schedule is concerned. But every week they kept knocking off people to get to where they are tonight. And talk to us about that ball game.
Yeah, take down the defending 7A state champs in Oak Grove. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if anybody outside of the Ocean Springs football program and community and fan base thought that game was going to go the way that it did. But when you look at the first couple of games they have this year, they might not have correlated to wins right away, but it definitely correlated to them finding the win column tonight. They were able to learn from those games and build towards what everyone saw tonight. Sherrod Whitehead is one of the best offensive weapons in the entire state. He had a 70-yard touchdown run along with some other scores tonight as well. And they did what a lot of people didn't think they were going to be able to do. Not only did they win, they won by 2. I mean, but they missed a field goal. It would have been a 14-point game. They won pretty convincingly.
Well, their prize for winning tonight is they get to play Brandon next week.
But no one necessarily thought they were going to win tonight. It'll probably be the same way going into next week's game, but maybe that's the way they like to play. Whenever their backs aren't necessarily against the run, they can go out there and just prove people wrong.
Well, and you know what? To be fair to the Greyhounds, I mean, they did have a rough preseason schedule, what we call preseason schedule. Yeah. And the concept behind playing those games is that you want to get your team ready for when they make their conference run and then try to make a run to the state. And that's exactly where the Greyhounds are. Now, they've got to come to Brandon, right?
No,
that's right. They're down there. Yep. And we were just talking to Jake a while ago. They said Brandon's excited about coming down there. But, it should be a good one next week. Now, there wasn't any other team in the coast playing. Well, Picayune was playing tonight. And boy, we're going to get.
Picayune played tonight. Poplarville played tonight.
Yep.
Crochet played tonight, and so did Stone. And George County played Picayune. So we had 7 teams playing tonight.
How do you cover 7 teams in one night?
We have a couple of guys who go out and shoot. It was myself, Ansley, one of our reporters goes out and shoots. His name is Ryan, and then as well as another reporter we have. Her name's Elizabeth. We had 4 people out shooting tonight. We were at 4 different games. Ansley went to 2, so we were at 5 different games. And then WJTV up in Jackson was closer to the Stone game, so they sent us highlights of Stone.
Well, we're going to be there the 3rd week in December to do the Bernard Blackley. I hope you come down and meet us and see us down there when we have that All-Star game down there.
Yeah, absolutely. We will be there. Ansley and I will both be there.
Great. All right. Hey, Javon, thanks for the call, and appreciate that roundup on the coast. And we will talk to you next week. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Awesome. Thank you as well.
Okay, man. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Why don't you talk to Harold? If we need to hold him over, we can. We also Granny has a guest with him on the phone, Coach Carter at Heidelberg.
Oh, okay.
But
All right.
here is Harold.
All right. Well, Harold, what can you say except for the fact that that program at Petal has turned the corner and turned around?
Yes, it has, Russ. It really has. I'm a one proud fellow supporter right now. I tell you, I think a lot of singers that told me, like they said, they put us back on the map. Well, guys, it was a fantastic season. The team's 8-5. I mean, 2 of the losses were due, and just like Jake said, they're the best team in the state right now. I mean, Brandon is a good ball club.
Well, they are. And look, sit tight, Harold. We're going to come back to you through the break because I've got to ask you a couple questions. So don't go anywhere. We're going to step aside and take a time out. Tonight's show made possible by Cricket Wireless, and especially with the holiday season just around the corner. It's not even around the corner. It's here. Check them out. Cricket Wireless. Smile. You're on Cricket. Back in a moment.
If the money's yours, you should have it. That's why State Treasurer David McRae has returned a record $80 million in unclaimed money to Mississippians. And there's hundreds of millions more, maybe with your name on it. Check the list. Visit www.treasury.ms.gov and see if you have any of the unclaimed money. Each year, banks, utilities, businesses, brokers, and insurance companies turn over millions of dollars to the state because they're not sure who is entitled to the funds. Treasurer McRae has an entire unclaimed money staff waiting to take your claim and return your money. Check the list today. Treasury.ms.gov. Mississippi football families, have you thought about how you're going to tackle student loan debt? Don't do it on your own. Pass the ball to State Treasurer David McRae and his College Savings Mississippi team today. With College Savings Mississippi, you can lock in today's tuition rate, prepay college, and avoid student loan debt altogether. Don't let your finances get sacked because you didn't invest in your child's education. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more today.
Trusted by homeowners and businesses across the Southeast. Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job. They delivered top-notch service, and my new roof looks great.
We started looking for roofers when we realized that we had leaks throughout our facilities in our district. What stood out to me about Malone Roofing was great customer service, a fine finished project, and great following. I would definitely work with Malone Roofing again.
My project was a little more complicated than just needing a new roof. I decided that Malone would be who we needed to work with, that would do the best job for us. My experience working with Malone was wonderful.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. We got Harold on the phone, who is a Petal Panther fan extraordinaire. And Harold, I think the biggest problem tonight is that you played, like we were talking about, one of the best teams in the state. But you know, you only build your program by playing these teams and then eventually beating these teams. And I think there's some good years for Petal ahead of them.
I really do, Russ. I really do. Like there's 3 teams that are now going to be in the playoff hunt with Brandon. We lost to Hattiesburg and Big U. And I tell you something right now, that game between Hattiesburg and I think Big U next week, hey, it's gonna be something, guys.
Well, I totally agree with you, Harold. And, of course, bringing Marcus Bowles back was a great move. And you just feel the momentum. I mean, it can carry a town.
The more I keep saying it about that program, the more I'm going to keep backing it 100%. I love the people of Pelham, Mississippi. I mean, I have been there for 45 years, and I just feel that I needed to go and support them in these playoff games. I try to support them as much as I can, and we've got basketball season coming up now, and then we'll have my sport, which will be softball, and I'll be hopefully working that. So, guys, it's going to be interesting to see what holds for the program under a very good athletic director, which is Mindy Hogan. She's one of the finest ADs. You got Matt Dillon. Robert Knight is our superintendent. And, of course, you got that great football staff, basketball staff. Everybody in that city has got a winning momentum going for them now.
And just think about this, Harold. They don't even have my grandsons there yet. So, I mean, just think about how good they're going to be then.
I can't, Russ, I cannot wait to see that when I get to see him and see you. And, like I keep saying, hope I'm invited to come to those championship games.
Well, you got an invitation, man. Hey, Harold, we got to run. We got a lot of people on the phone. We want you to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We got a lot to be thankful for. And and we will see you on the other side of Thanksgiving.
All right, my friend. We will see you then. Y'all have a great night.
All right, you too, man. All righty. Bye-bye.
All right, buddy. All right, bye-bye.
Here's Granny.
All right, Granny. First of all, tell us about the game and then tell us about your special guest.
Yeah, Russ. It was a Central County rival, Bay Springs and Heidelberg. They're playing for the third round. A slow start to the game, but Heidelberg, they got a quarterback named Chase Proud. He threw 3 touchdown passes. And I think it was like 16-8 at halftime. They wound up 30-8 Heidelberg, but only 1 turnover in the game. Bay Springs turned over 1 time. Heidelberg did not turn over any. And Heidelberg played very well, and that quarterback was a little too much. Wound up 30-8, and he like I said, he threw 3 touchdown passes.
Are there a lot of seniors on that team, by any chance?
A lot of seniors. He said he don't have a lot of seniors.
Wow.
He does not have a lot.
Well, who do you have as your special guest tonight?
I have the head coach of Heidelberg. His name is Daryl Carter.
Well, let's put Coach Carter on. Let us talk to him.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, and I'll holler at y'all next week. Here he is, right here.
Thank you, Granny. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Russ, how you doing?
Coach Carter, I'm not doing near as good as you are tonight.
Oh, man, hey, we appreciate it. Like they say, man, try to get one, survive, and advance. And, the guy did a great job again tonight. People talk about the 50, 60, 70 points we scored.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like I said, our defense is been awesome all year. I mean, we only gave up 49 points in the regular season, and tonight was our first 8 points. And, like I said, everybody make mistakes, but the touchdown they got was on a busted assignment. And so, proud of the guys. And like I said, once we got the lead, we didn't try to, keep mashing the gas like we did. 30-8 was enough, and they couldn't get in.
Wow. Coach, these kids today have so much more to take their attention and things they're having to do, and, of course, their schoolwork and all that sort of stuff. Is it harder to coach football players today than it was, say, 10 years ago?
It is, but I was just telling the boss over here that one of the biggest things here, in my second season here, is everything you just said is kind of old school here. The kids, they do the social media and all that stuff and got distractions, but, they've locked in, and, I mean, that's one of my big surprises. It is tougher to coach. We spend more time, trying to tell them, about the social media. You may not be the one that posted it, but when you repost it, it's looked at as that's you. And that's one of the biggest things. Everybody got cameras, not just kids. And, just like you said, there's so much stuff going on. the unrealistic, I guess you could say. They see something on social media and they don't understand the work that comes, behind obtaining it. But I can say for, hearing these kids that I'm blessed to coach and my staff, they kind of take a hold of, hey, we're going to listen to this guy. And the same thing you just said, we preach about that a lot, trying to put yourself in the best situation. And, that's what they've been doing. So it is as a whole, but here, these 2 seasons, it's been a little different. They've been kind of bought into what's going on and off the field.
We're talking with Coach Carter of Heidelberg. You get a 30-8 victory today, and congratulations on that. I really would like to know, as a coach, you said you're in your second year there. So in your first year, you hear a lot of first-year coaches say, I got to get these kids to buy into our system.
Right.
All right. First of all, define buying into your system, and secondly, how do you get them to do that?
I mean, the main thing, a lot of people say buy in, is getting them to trust the abilities that they have and to trust in us to put them in the best position. You may have a kid, just like I said when I took over here, they was running the wing T. And, I ran the wing T in high school at Northeast Jones, great offense. And, just like you said, the game evolved. But I tell folks in the day, it's kind of the same thing we do now. It's just you can kind of put some guys in space, but you still running the wing T when you send a guy in motion and all that stuff from the spread. And, the buy-in, like I said, comes from, changing your old ways and adapting a new way that's best for everybody, even when it means, you may take a lesser role, but it's more because, we're doing individual things to reach that one team come and go. So for me and us, that's the buy-in. Also the buy-in is what we actually do off the field, along with the other things that goes on. So, that's the buy-in of that. And like you said, how do you do that? How we do it? Holding to the standard. I mean, there's so much other thing they can do nowadays, but if you want to be a part of this, if you're going to do this, you can't be a part of this. And a lot of them want to be a part of something, and then when it's something positive, everybody, wants to be a part of that. And so they take hold and grasp that, hey, if I'm not doing this, coach is not going to allow me to play.
Bottom line. What did it feel like when you walked off the field today?
It was great to, survive in advance. That was the main thing. And, like early in the week with the news people and stuff, we understand East and West Jasper is a big rivalry, but like I told them, not trying to downplay it. I mean, we don't look at the rivalry at this point. You don't care who the opponent is. You want to be playing.
Right.
And it just felt good. I hadn't even really paid attention that, hey, it was Bay Spring. Not disrespecting them. We got opportunity to play again. And then get opportunity last year to play in the schools, and win the first ever South State Championship and compete in the first ever state championship. And then have an opportunity after a long off season and, injuries and anything else
right.
go on for everybody. And we got opportunity to do it again. So that was the more joy of getting the opportunity to try to, win it again. We get the opportunity to go back, more of the rivalry game. So, it felt great, though. And, more for these young men because we were so young last year. And we still young now. Like I said, we got 10 seniors, but really like 4 of them play. So it's still that nucleus of sophomores that's pushing us and those juniors.
Well, I think that Thanksgiving turkey somehow is going to taste just a little bit better.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I get a chance, being back close to home.
Yeah.
Been at Shannon 11, 12 years. And coming close here, my mom lives the next exit in Sharon, about 12 minutes away. So to get an opportunity to have Thanksgiving and try to play and win it next week in South State. You're right. I'm a ham guy and chicken casserole, but hey, it's a blessing to do that for family and with these guys for their family as well.
That's great, Coach. Well, listen, I want to thank you for staying up with us tonight, and congratulations on the win. And we'll look forward to watching what you do, next week and see what you can bring home.
Okay, we appreciate y'all and thank y'all for staying up. And hey, we'll say it again, go all of it, and we'll try to get it done.
There you go, Coach. Thanks so much, my friend.
Appreciate y'all.
All righty.
Yes, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Why don't you start with Philip Palmertree and then hold him over through the break?
Okay. All right. Philip?
Hang on, I haven't pushed
Oh,
the
you
button
hadn't put
yet.
him on
No.
yet.
Now the button's pushed. Hello, Philip.
Philip's got to be tired from calling all the touchdowns in that ball game. Of course, you're the voice of Leak Academy, and they ran into a buzzsaw today with Park Lane. Talk to me.
Yeah, 70-42. Park Lane wins the MAIS 5A state championship. But I feel like I ought to say that Park Lane shot the ball really well from behind the three-point line. Free throws.
Wrong sport, Philip.
That's usually the way you get to 70.
Yeah. That's a quick way to get to 70. You know, I got to see this, as you know, I got to see this Park Lane team earlier in the year. And this was a different Park Lane team. I think Ron Rushing done a great job with that team because this is not the same. We're going to hold you over to the next break, Phil. Don't go anywhere. This is not the same Park Lane team that I saw. And I'm going to ask you, of course, now, look, Leak Academy got a good football team as well. So when we come back, I want you to size up that ball game and talk to us about what it took to try to hang with those guys, okay? Hang on.
All right.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have more Friday night Under the Lights in a moment.
At Mississippi Public Broadcasting, we tell local stories that matter. Educational and entertaining television, radio, news, and podcasts. We have something for everyone. So tune in and enjoy all we have to offer. Every day, MPB. Your stories, our mission.
Mississippi football families, have you thought about how you're going to tackle student loan debt? Don't do it on your own. Pass the ball to State Treasurer David McRae and his College Savings Mississippi team today. With College Savings Mississippi, you can lock in today's tuition rate, prepay college, and avoid student loan debt altogether. Don't let your finances get sacked because you didn't invest in your child's education. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more today. 1 in 10 Mississippians has unclaimed money awaiting claim at the state treasury. There's literally hundreds of millions of dollars waiting to be united with the rightful owner. At www.treasury.ms.gov to search. You'll see your name and stake your claim by following these instructions. You'll be asked for some basic ID like a copy of your license or a government-issued ID, then hit send. Treasurer David McRae has a dedicated unclaimed money team awaiting your claim, ready to return your money. Don't wait. Look for your name and stake your claim today. www.treasury.ms.gov.
I was paying too much money in 5G, and then my son suggested that I should try cricket. It was easy to switch.
And we love easy. Yeah! Smile, you're on cricket.
I was paying too much money in 5G, and then my son suggested that I should try cricket. It was easy to switch.
And we love easy. Yeah! Smile, you're on cricket.
Cricket has free Samsung Galaxy phones. Whoa! Free phone? That's 5G. And nationwide coverage.
Pretty good deal.
Smile, you're on cricket.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. We got a lot of phone calls in tonight, which is great. We're trying to get Devin Cooper in from Northwest Rankin because he's played a lot of these 7A schools. And don't forget the All-Star Games coming up, Miss Al. Well, first of all, state championships coming up here on MPB. The first weekend in December, second weekend in December. Friday Night Under the Lights production will have the Miss Al game from Mobile. And then the next weekend, the Friday Night Under the Light production of the Bernard Blackwell All-Star game, North versus South. And so a lot of football left to play. And, of course, the state championships coming in 2 weeks. So next week, will be our last show, and for the year, because we just kind of leave it at this, leave it up to the guys calling the games on MPB to bring you up to date on all the state action. All right, let's go back to Philip Palmertree. Philip, apparently, yes, they scored 70, but Pioneers must have had a pretty good defense to stop your Leak Academy team.
Yeah, and really this game came down to about a 12 to 14 minute segment from the late part of the first quarter right to the end of the half. It was a 7-6 ball game late in the quarter. Then Park Lane goes on to score 5 of the next 6 touchdowns in the game. And even it was still, though, it's strange to look back on, with under 2 minutes to go in the half, it was a 28-14 game, and Leak's defense stopped Park Lane on a 4th and inches play in Park Lane territory. And so, you know, we're feeling like, okay, Leak can go down and score and be within a touchdown before halftime, and it's game on. But the very next play, the first offensive play after taking over again, Leak throws an interception in the sideline, and then 5 plays later, there's Park Lane standing in the end zone with about 12 seconds to go in the half, and 35-14. And the team's pretty much just traded touchdowns from that point. But you mentioned Park Lane improving, and I didn't get to see them early in the year. I know they did not stand up well early in the year against MRA and Jackson Prep. I think part of that has to do with the just general the vast chasm competitively between 6A and 5A in MAIS overall. But I think Coach Rushing down at Park Lane got those guys better and better as the year went on, and sometimes games just I think Park Lane's offensive line just really overwhelmed Leak defensively.
They're big. They're big,
yeah,
Philip.
There's a big group, 570. Was it 577 yards in total offense? It was pretty much evenly split, rushing and passing. They just pretty much did what they wanted to offensively. And, you know, Leak got nearly 400 yards of total offense in the game.
Goodness.
So it was certainly, it was a great effort from Leak. They in no way, laid down. Yeah, Leak finished with 394 offensively, and played hard at the very end, but Park Lane was just too much. They get their first state championship since 1994, and they really deserved it.
Well, Philip, we really appreciate you bringing us all your reports all year long. You made us a part of your Friday night, and that's what makes this show what it is. And if it not weren't for you guys out there calling all these games, we would be in trouble. So. Thank you for making us, like I say, a part of your Friday night. Have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll see you down the road.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Phil. All right.
Tommy Epton.
Tommy, you guys scored a few points tonight, man.
Yeah, it was an interesting game, Russ. 21-14 at halftime. Thinking anything that could have went wrong in the first half seemed to go wrong. Fumbled the first snap, gave George County the ball on about the 22-yard line. They scored, turned it over again in the second quarter, and really gave them 2 pretty quick touchdowns, and then they drove down the field and scored. But Picayune scored with about 2.5 minutes to go before halftime. They pulled to 21-14, and then had a big stop with less than a minute to go to force a turnover. So we went into halftime down by just 1 score, even though pretty terrible half of football from Picayune. We got the third quarter kickoff and rattled off 28 straight points unanswered, and then went on to score 49 points in the second half to pull away. The George County scored a couple of touchdowns late on some of the younger guys, so the game actually wasn't as close as 63-40.
Wow!
Picayune just completely dominated the second half. Deuce did some Deuce stuff, right? I mean, he's good, and we know it. But we were able to control him. I tell you what, I'm just as impressed. We've played him twice now, and just as impressed with the running back they got, Gaucher. He is a very, very good running back, and he gashed us for almost 100 yards in the first half. Shut him down in the second half, and then, held Deuce. You're not going to shut Deuce down, but you got to kind of control him.
Yeah.
So we were able to do that, and then offense just came alive and was able to kind of run away with it. So sets up a huge game next week. I think this, by my count, this is 7 of the last 8 South State championships Picayune will play in, and we host the Tigers next week.
Of Hattiesburg.
Hattiesburg.
Well, of course, they've got a Deuce you're going to have to deal with.
Yes. Thought we got away from Deuce, but we're going to have another one. And I understand that, and I know he's good, but I understand their line is something to deal with.
Yeah.
For me, that's going to be the tail of the game. Picayune's going to want to establish a line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, so that's going to be the fight. Can we do that? I think if we can, we get a chance. If we can't establish a line of scrimmage, it might get ugly.
Well, it's going to be a good one any way you look at it. And, wow, big win for Picayune tonight. Who knows? May see you in Hattiesburg in 2 weeks.
Yeah, just don't punch our ticket yet, but don't count us out either.
Spoken like a true sportscaster.
There you go.
Thank you, Tom. We appreciate you, man. Have a good Thanksgiving.
You too.
All righty. Bye-bye. All right, we're going to be efforting. Devin Cooper is the head coach of the Northwest. For a lot of folks may have just kind of gotten in their car. Let's George, go over the scores you have before I go to Devin in this next segment.
All right, Russ. We'll start 7A. We'll get as far as we can. It was Madison Central defeating Germantown 45-14. Tupelo edged Starkville 35-34. Brandon over Petal 39-10. Ocean Springs beat Oak Grove 27-14. In the 6A bracket, it was Grenada over Neshoba Central 31-7. Warren Central beat South Panola, 21-3. It was Picayune over George County 63-40. Hattiesburg over Pascagoula 33-17. In the 5A games, it was West Point beating Holmes County Central 31-28. Cleveland Central edged Canton 27-26. Brookhaven rolled over Stone 33-7, and Gaucher edged Wayne County by 1, 28-27. In 4A, West Lauderdale 26, Shannon 23. Louisville over New Albany 39-7. Forest 17, Quitman 12. Poplarville over Macomb 42-21. In the 3A games, MAIS, or actually MHSAA, it was Choctaw County over Rosa Fort 37-0. East Webster also with a shutout over Aberdeen 35-0. Noxubee County 45, Seminary 15, McGee 12, and Jefferson County 8. In 2A, it was Northside beating Union 20-3. Charleston over Calhoun City 30-12. Heidelberg 30, Bay Springs 8. And also in the 30s, Raleigh defeated Lloyd Starr 36-8. In the 1A, it was Baldwin beating Vardaman 29-7. West Lowndes over Myrtle 46-12. Simmons 22, Lumberton 18, Velma Jackson 60, Taylorsville 8. And the MAIS 5A, it was Park Lane, mentioned that just a minute ago. Park Lane defeated Leake 70-42. Tri-County in 4A beat Bowling Green 27-3. In the 3A championship game, Kirk Academy defeated Marshall Academy 35-10. The 2A championship was DeSoto School. They defeated Tunica 58-32. And in the 1A championship game, Briarfield Academy defeated Wilkinson County Christian 32-18.
So those are your scores. Now, MAIS is done after tomorrow.
Right.
For the year.
Right.
And what a game meant to end on, which will be Prep and Hartfield.
Yeah, Hartfield lost, right there in the middle of the season. Well, really kind of the latter part of the season. Dropped games to MRA and to Prep. Had a rematch against MRA last week and won. Prep's got to beat them twice in the same year, and that's never easy to do. It's hard to beat somebody twice in the same year.
It is, and it's. I'll tell you something else hard to do is to go undefeated.
Yeah,
you rarely see that anymore unless you've been hanging around Tri-County all these years.
Well, strangely enough, there were 11 undefeated teams, according to Will's stat sheets. 11
going into tonight.
Going into tonight, and let me see. Let's see. Tupelo won. Hattiesburg won, so both of them are continuing to be undefeated. Cleveland Central won. So they're still undefeated. New Albany lost. They lost to Louisville, so that's one team that lost that was previously undefeated. And let me see, I can find Vardaman. They lost. They lost to Baldwin. So yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not
tough.
easy. It's not
tough.
easy.
We're going to take a timeout. The last segment of tonight's show coming up here on MPB. And on FNUTL.com. Stay with us.
Cricket has free Samsung Galaxy phones?
What? Nationwide coverage and lightning fast 5G?
Smile, you're on Cricket.
See your name and file your claim. Even the smallest counties in Mississippi usually have thousands of people whose names are on the unclaimed money list at the Mississippi State Treasury. That's right. Many counties even have tens of thousands of names listed, totaling tens of millions in unclaimed dollars. Since he's been state treasurer, David McRae has returned a record $80 million to Mississippians who've searched the list, found their names, and staked their claim. About 1 in 10 Mississippians have unclaimed money, and that's why you should check www.treasury.ms.gov or click on Unclaimed Money and search today. If you see your name, file your claim. If it's your money, Treasurer David McRae will get it back to you.
People who come to Cricket, stay with Cricket.
I volunteer at a bunny rescue, and with Cricket, my bill is consistent.
Wait, this is huge! A new offer, 5G for 15. You heard it here first. 5G plans starting at $15 a month. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. We've had a lot of interesting games. We got on deck Brandon Shields, but we're going to talk to Devin Cooper first. And Brandon, by the way, covered the West Lauderdale game tonight against Shannon, so we certainly want to talk to him. But Devin Cooper joins us now here. He's the head coach of the Northwest Rankin Cougars. And the reason I wanted to talk to Devin is because he's probably played a lot of these 7A schools, because I know your schedule, Devin, at the front of the year was brutal.
Yep, man, it was. I tell you, I made the comment earlier today talking with our lead principal, Mr. Bradford. We talk a lot about things. So, man, every team's still playing. The teams we lost to are we're still playing ball tonight.
Yeah.
So it shows the toughness of that schedule.
Whew. And did the realignment affect you guys any?
It did not affect us, thankfully. There was the chance we would move to the north, or we're kind of that school that can go either way.
Right.
So we're going to stay put. So we're staying in the state. We'll stay with the region we're comfortable with and who we know, and we're not going to have to change much on that.
How many seniors did you have on your team this year?
It was a small group for us. We had 14 seniors. That's the smallest group I've had since I've been here. Now we got some good quality within that number, but it was a small group.
Well, the upside to that, of course, is you got a lot coming back.
Yeah. I think we're going to lose. We'll lose our center, we'll lose a receiver, a running back, and that's pretty much what. And we got a kid that played a lot of tight end receiver for us that also. So about 3 to 4 kids off the offense, and we're going to lose. We'll lose 4 to 5 off the defense that played a lot of minutes.
Talk to me, and I want to talk to you because you've played or seen a bunch of these teams this year. Talk to me about Brandon. What makes them so good?
They just have a lot of depth, and within that depth and within the numbers, it's just a lot of really good kids that play the football game the way you should play it. Obviously Coach Williams and the staff do a great job, and a lot of respect for them, but they just have a lot of good high school football players. I think if you look at their overall roster, it's not like he's loaded with Division I talent, but there's a lot of really good high school football players, and there's a lot of quality within that. And those guys, they're a physical bunch. They're very fast, and it's hard to take advantage of a group that's that fast defensively, and they have some real good star power on the offensive side. They're a dynamic bunch, and it's hard play to play. You have to really be on your A game to stay in there with them.
Well, a lot of people already penciling them in to play Tupelo. Have you had a chance to see Tupelo?
I have watched very little of them. I hear a lot about the running back. I know the last 3 years they put a lot of talent on the field. You don't get through that district, and you don't get past people like Starkville unless you have some guys to work with. So, I know Ty Harden's got a really talented bunch that he's in front of over there.
Which group, I can't remember, All-Star game are you going to be involved in this year?
I'm not involved in one this year. I did the South. I was the defense coordinator of the South last year.
That's right.
I'm gonna get to sit back this year and just watch a couple of our guys play.
Who's gonna represent for Northwest Rankin?
We got Octavius Hunt is a DB / linebacker, kind of hybrid kid for us. He's gonna play in the North-South game. He'll play on the South, and then we have Travion Morton. That's going to be a safety in the Mississippi-Alabama game. Both talented kids that are great young men that we're excited to see get a chance to play in those games and represent our school.
Outstanding. Devin, you do a great job over there at Northwest Rankin, and you got a lot of good days ahead of you with that young group coming up, and we thank you for staying up with us. I know that you'll enjoy Thanksgiving, and make sure that you say hello to your parents for me.
Man, I'll do it. Appreciate it, Russ.
Okay, Devin. Thanks so much, my friend.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right, bye-bye.
Brandon Shields.
All right, Brandon, you got a game tonight that not a whole lot of people were talking about, but it turned out to be a really good game, didn't it?
Yeah, the way it started, it definitely didn't seem that way. Shannon dominated the first half. They're up 16-0 at halftime. West Lauderdale I had them with 54 yards of offense. Had a quarterback threw a pick around midfield. Then in the second half, White played 48 minutes, and they turned it around. Shannon was moving the ball, but just couldn't get in the rhythm of offense in the second half. They had the one 55-yard touchdown pass in the third quarter, and that was their explosive play, which we did, or I knew going in, Shannon was a big play explosive team.
Yeah.
They thrive on big plays. And they had their big plays in the first half. We had just that one in the second half. And West Lauderdale was able to methodically get back in the game. And then Shannon had the ball. A little over 4 minutes to go. Drive down, get to the 8-yard line with 1:31 left. Went for it, 4th and 2 from the 10-yard line. Came up short.
Oh.
By about 6 inches.
Oh.
Just about shorter than that. So West Lauderdale got the ball, and we all know what happened after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it all.
Well, where does that put West Lauderdale next week?
So now West Lauderdale's back at home, but they get Louisville next week for North State 4A. So big bad Louisville come to town, and it is going to be a tall task, a big tall task.
Yeah.
I mean, Louisville, they do what they do. I mean, they got a fantastic freshman at running back, Zayton Jernigan. He's put some hellacious numbers as a freshman, and he's the next one to come out of that program, a plethora of good players. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, I tell you that will be a good one, but I'm like you, Brandon. You better bring your double A game when you're going to take on the Tigers. I mean the Wildcats, from Louisville.
Louisville will do what they do. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play hard-nosed defense. I mean, they're going to take away what you do best. So, which in this case, West Lauderdale, they run a lot of long reach stuff. So yeah, they're going to do what they do to try to take that away.
What game surprised you the most tonight?
I can't believe it. Warren Central over South Nola. I mean, Warren Central 21-3 over South Nola. They just from just start to finish dominate them. South Nola, they're a run-first team, and Warren Central has a very good front seven, and couldn't really move the ball on them. And Warren Central, they were able to get points at times. It was 7-3 at halftime, 14-3 going in the fourth, and they scored with like 3.5 minutes to go in the game to put the game away. And from what Ernest Balker, the Vicksburg coach guy, what he told me, that they had a couple. Warren Central had a couple of touchdowns called back. So, but at the same time, Warren Central, they're tough at home. Now they get a very, very good graded team. The team that put them out, the team that ended their season last year in the second round.
Yep.
I covered the game.
Yep, I remember.
Yeah, they're going to be looking at payback. But Grenada's a whole different team, completely different team. They're so much better than they were last year, even with making the state title game.
Well, Reed Vance said tonight when he called in on his report that this was one of the best defenses in high school football, Warren Central, and he may be totally right on that.
He's right. He's totally right. I mean, when you got Ronnie Blossom and Larry Reynolds, big deep tackle. Blossom's a top-red linebacker, and then Larry Reynolds, the defensive end. They are very, very good up front.
That's what he said.
Very, very. And Josh Morgan, it's good that they finally got over the second round.
Yeah.
It's been 30 years since they've gotten past this point. So now let's see how they do in the next round.
All right. Well, look, Brandon, you have a great Thanksgiving. We've got to wrap it up and get out of here, but appreciate the report, and have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you next Friday night.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
All righty. That's going to put a wrap. Where did the time go?
Well, it went by quick, and a lot of good games, and there's going to be some great games next weekend for sure.
Ooh, Ooh, there's going to be some good ones.
Yeah, good.
It's going to be a good one tomorrow night.
It will be. Good luck.
Yeah. We will take this time to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. So long, everyone.